We spend most of our lives clenching, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, trying to fix, trying to manage, trying to make life behave. Like if we just think hard enough, plan smart enough, hold on tight enough, things will finally go our way. But what if I told you that tight grip, that constant managing of outcomes, that's exactly what's pushing everything further away? It's wild, right? You're doing everything right. You're visualizing, hustling, repeating affirmations, trying so hard to be in control. But instead of flow, you feel friction. Instead of clarity, confusion. And no matter how much you try, things feel off. Now here's the shift no one teaches you. Alignment doesn't come from control, it comes from trust. And the moment you stop micromanaging every part of your life, something clicks. It's like the noise fades. The tension in your chest softens. You begin to hear what's underneath all that mental noise. Your intuition, your truth, the real rhythm of life that's been trying to speak to you this whole time. Letting go isn't weakness, it's intelligence. Because you realize you were never meant to force everything into place. You were meant to move with life, not against it. And in that surrender, things begin to find you. The right people, the right timing, the next steps. Not because you chased harder, but because you finally got out of your own way. You see, we've been conditioned to believe that control equals safety. From a young age, we're taught that if we just try harder, worry more, double-check everything, then maybe, just maybe, we'll be okay. But here's what no one tells you. Control is an illusion. And trying to hold everything in place is like gripping sand. The tighter you squeeze, the faster it slips through your fingers. What actually gives you peace isn't having control, it's having clarity. And clarity doesn't come when you're tense. It comes in moments of stillness, moments where you stop the mental fight, even just for a second, and breathe. It's funny. Some of the biggest breakthroughs in life don't come when you're grinding. They come when you let go. That conversation you've been forcing, the moment you stop trying to change them, they show up differently. That opportunity you've been chasing, the moment you detach from the outcome, something better appears. Even your healing, it begins when you stop trying to fix yourself and start listening to yourself. Because when you stop controlling, you're no longer operating from fear. You're moving from presence. You're not chasing life. You're partnering with it. And that's when things begin to align. Not because you manipulated them into place, but because you made space for what was always meant to come through. It's like nature. A river doesn't need to push, it flows. And when it hits a rock, it doesn't panic. It moves around it effortlessly because it trusts where it's going. And that's exactly what starts to happen with your life. When you stop fighting the current, the real shift happens when you realize you don't need to force life to work out. You just need to stop interfering with it. Because most of the time, it's not life that's chaotic. It's our constant overthinking that makes it seem that way. Think about it. How many times have you blocked a blessing by trying to control how it shows up? You plan it out in your head, every detail, every step. But life doesn't work with blueprints. It works with rhythm, flow, vibration. You want love, but you're guarded. You want peace, but you're holding grudges. You want freedom, but you're micromanaging the timing of everything. And life responds to that contradiction. It waits. Not because it's punishing you, but because it's trying to get your energy in alignment with what you're asking for. Let go of the tension. Let go of needing to have all the answers. You don't need a map when the path is already inside you. That feeling in your chest, that subtle sense of knowing, it's not a coincidence. It's your compass. And here's the wild part. The moment you surrender that urge to control, you start hearing it louder. That inner nudge, that quiet confidence, and life, real soulful life, starts moving with you. Your relationships start to feel less like war zones and more like peaceful mirrors. Your goals stop being checklists and start feeling like natural expressions of who you already are. You don't chase, you attract. You don't panic, you prepare. And instead of begging life to cooperate, you're simply meeting it, present, calm, and ready. Because when you're no longer pushing the river, you finally start swimming in it. You've probably been told your whole life that control equals power, that the more you grip something, your future, your identity, your relationships, the more likely it is to go your way. But here's what they never told you. Control is often rooted in fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of being hurt again, fear of being seen without the armor. So what do? We micromanage every conversation. We rehearse text replies like we're writing a movie script. We obsess over what comes next, as if anxiety could somehow guarantee success. And the irony? That very need to control is what breaks the flow. Because life, real life, thrives in uncertainty. That's where the breakthroughs hide. That's where healing happens. That's where the things you didn't even know you needed find you. There's something magnetic about surrender. When you stop performing for the world and start listening to your own quiet rhythm, everything begins to sync. You stop over-explaining. You stop over-giving. You stop asking for permission to be who you are. Instead, you walk into rooms differently. You trust your silence. You're okay not having the last word. And the funny thing? That's when people start noticing you more. Not because you're shouting louder, but because you're grounded. You're not chasing peace. You're embodying it. You're no longer trying to bend reality to your will. You're letting reality unfold as it was always meant to. This isn't weakness. It's not giving up. It's the most powerful thing you can do. To say, I trust the timing. I trust myself. I trust life. Not to always give me what I want, but to always give me what I need. Because at the end of the day, you don't find alignment by forcing life into a shape. You find it by removing everything that was distorting the shape you already were. There's a moment, and you'll know it when it comes, where your nervous system softens, your shoulders loosen, your breath gets deeper without effort, and for the first time in a long time, you don't feel like you're fighting life anymore. That moment doesn't come from achieving something. It comes from releasing something. Maybe it's an expectation that was never yours to carry. Maybe it's a timeline you built out of fear of falling behind. Or maybe it's the version of you that was always trying to be enough for someone else. When that moment hits, there's no grand announcement. It's quiet, still, sacred. You'll notice the small things again. The way sunlight lands on your hands, how certain songs make your chest ache, how the world keeps turning. Whether you're stressing or not, you'll stop searching for signs in everything. You'll stop needing constant reassurance that you're on the right path. Because suddenly, your path won't need proof. It'll just feel aligned. This is when synchronicity starts showing up. People call it coincidence, but you'll know it's not. You'll think of someone and they'll message you. You'll let go of one opportunity and a better one appears out of nowhere. You'll stop chasing love and you'll start attracting something much more real. Why? Because when you stop trying to control every outcome, you become available to possibility. And that's where life responds differently. Not because the world changed, but because you did. You've stepped out of resistance. You've stepped out of fear. You're no longer forcing alignment. You've become it. You see, control gives the illusion of safety, but it also becomes the prison that keeps life from surprising you. And ironically, the tighter you grip, the more things slip through your fingers. Ever notice how the things you beg to stay are often the first to leave? And the moments where you finally let go, not in bitterness, but in peace, something new finds its way in. That's the paradox. When you stop micromanaging the universe starts working with you, not against you. But surrender isn't passivity. It's not giving up. It's giving in. Giving in to the rhythm you were born with, but forgot under the noise. It's walking forward not because you're certain, but because you trust that clarity will come as you move. You stop obsessing over what people think. You stop needing to win every imaginary game your mind creates. And in that stillness, you finally hear something real. Your intuition, the quiet compass that's been drowned out by the noise of control. When you're in control mode, intuition is silenced. You don't ask, you command. You don't listen, you strategize. You're always trying to calculate your way to happiness. But happiness doesn't come through calculation. It comes through connection. Connection to the present, to yourself, and to whatever higher thread is stitching this entire experience together. And here's the beautiful thing. When you surrender control, you get your energy back. You stop leaking it into fake futures and anxious scenarios. You stop wasting it trying to fix things that were never broken, just not meant for you. Suddenly, life feels lighter. Not because it's easier, but because you're no longer dragging yourself through it with clenched fists. You're open, you're breathing, you're here. Now here's the thing they don't tell you. Life doesn't just respond to surrender. It reshapes itself around it. Opportunities that once felt distant start arriving without you chasing them. Not because you stopped caring, but because you stopped forcing. You stopped trying to be the architect of every outcome and became the observer of something much wiser unfolding. You begin to move with life, not against it. And this shift, it's subtle, almost invisible to others. But inside, you know everything's changed. You feel it in your breath, in how you respond instead of react, in how silence no longer feels uncomfortable, but sacred. Because control is loud. It overthinks, overexplains, and overcompensates. But surrender, it's quiet. It trusts. It walks away when something doesn't align, not out of fear or pride, but because your peace costs too much to bargain anymore. And when you stop trying to align things manually, life, like gravity, begins to pull the right people, the right chances, the right timing into your orbit. You realize alignment was never a result of planning. It was always a result of presence. And presence doesn't happen when you're stuck in tomorrow. It blooms when you allow this moment, messy, uncertain, unfinished, to simply be. It's the space where you stop begging for signs and begin to feel the guidance that was there all along. Life isn't punishing you. It's protecting you from what isn't meant for your growth. But you can't see that when you're obsessively trying to sculpt a perfect version of the future. Let go, and suddenly, everything that felt like chaos starts making sense. Not because the chaos left, but because your resistance did. And maybe, for the first time, you're not chasing. You're choosing. You're not obsessing. You're observing. You're not controlling. You're aligning. Because control is an illusion that pretends to keep you safe, but in reality, it keeps you small. The more you micromanage your existence, the more you disconnect from the intelligence that built galaxies, beats your heart without permission, and heals your wounds while you sleep. So ask yourself, who were you before you thought you had to control everything? Who were you when you just felt your way through life, instead of calculating every step like a battle plan? That version of you, the one who trusted, flowed, listened, they're not gone. They're just buried beneath the noise of a world that told you surrender was weakness. But here's the truth. Surrender isn't weakness, it's wisdom. You're not giving up, you're waking up. Waking up to the reality that you don't need to hold the reins so tight, that things fall into place not when you grip harder, but when you release and realign. And when you do, you begin to notice the synchronicities, the right call at the right time, the conversation that shifts something deep in your soul, the opportunity that shows up the moment you let go of needing it. Alignment doesn't happen through control. It happens through trust. Let this be the reminder. Life is not something you need to conquer. It's something you're meant to dance with. And when you let go of the choreography, that's when the real beauty begins. If this message found you at the right moment, drop the word aligned in the comments. Let's see how many of us are finally ready to stop forcing and start flowing. And if this resonated, you already know what to do. Like, subscribe, and stay close. We're just getting started.